Hello everyone, welcome again to the new episode of Abstract Algebra. So in today's video, we're going to talk about examples of groups, then how to check if an algebraic structure is a group. Okay guys, so if you are new in this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share, and then check my previous video on the introduction to a group so that you can know what we've done earlier. Alright guys, now take note of this before we start the example. So if asterisk a comma b equals a plus b, then we're gonna say g comma asterisk is a group if the following properties or axioms are satisfied. If the following axioms are satisfied. All right, now let us write out all the axioms that must be satisfied. You know, in our previous class, we said we talked about the four main properties for an algebraic structure to be a group. That is the closure property, the associative property. There must be an existence of identity elements, and then for each element in a group, there must be a sense of what? Of their inverse. Then, if those four properties are satisfied, then we say that algebraic structure is a group. And then we have a special property, which is the commutative property. So, if the commutative property is satisfied, then we call that group a commutative group or an abelian group. Now, the first property that must be satisfied, which is the what? The closure property. So for this algebraic structure to be a group, A plus B must be in G. So A plus B must be present in G. So if A plus B is present in G, that's that the closure property holds. So for all A, B in G. The second rule that must be satisfied is the associative property. So if A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B then plus C, that is, if this property holds, this property must hold for this algebraic structure to be a group. So for all A, comma B, comma C in G. So this is the associative property. That is, if we have A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. If this equality holds, then the associative property holds. Now we have the third property. That is, there must be an existence of the what? The identity element. So there exists E in G, so such that A plus E is equal to E plus A is equal to A. Okay, for all E in G. That is, if we take E and then combine with any element in the sets, so we are going to have that what element. So that is, there must be an existence of the identity element for an algebraic structure to be a group. And the last one, for it to be a group, for each A in G, okay, so there exists B in G such that A plus B equals B plus A equal E. That is, B is equal to negative A. That is, if we combine A and B, we must have E. So where B will be the inverse of A, which is negative A. So take note of that. So if these four properties are satisfied, then we said G, comma, asterisk is a group. Okay, so for the special property, which is the commutative property, so if you want to check for the commutative property, so this must be satisfied. So say G comma asterisk, and don't forget our operation here is plus. Okay, so G comma asterisk, and then our asterisk should be plus, which is the operation there, will be commutative, okay, or abelian. So if the commutative property holds, That is, A plus B must be equal to B plus A. So for all A, B in G. So now we have some examples of group. So the first examples of group. So the set of integers under the operation addition is a group. Even is an abelian group. Now let's check if this is a group or it's not a group. The first property is the closure property. Now, before I will start checking for those properties. Let's write out some integers. Okay, so the integers, the integers consist of both the negative and the positive numbers. Okay, so let's say we have some numbers: -5, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for us to check for the closure property, now let's take two elements in G. So let's take two elements in G and combine it together. So let's check if we are going to have a number or an element that will be a member of Z. Now let's take -5 and 2 for an example. So if I say -5 plus 2, don't forget the operation is addition. -5 plus 2 we give him -3. And -3 is an element of what? Of the set of integers. So that shows that the closure property holds. Or you can say take two arbitrary elements in Z, A and B. So A plus B will be closed, because if you take two integers and add the two integers together, the answer will be what? An integer. So A plus B is in Z. Therefore, the closure property holds. So for all A, B in G. So the closure property holds. Now let's check for the associative property. Now, from the associative property, don't forget, if we have A, for we're dealing with addition. So we have A plus B plus C. This must be equal to A plus B, then plus C. Now, let's take two elements in the set of integers. So, I mean three elements A, B, C. So let's take -5. Let's take -1 and 3. Now we have -5 plus -1 plus 3. Will it be equal to -5 plus -1 then plus 3? Let's check. So we're going to have -5 -1 plus 3 will give us 2. So we have plus 2 equals -5, plus and minus will give us minus. So -5 minus 1 will give us -6 plus 3. So -5 plus 2 will give us -3. And then -6 plus 3 will give us -3. So we can see that the associative property holds. That is, this property holds. So the associativity property holds. Okay, so we are done with the second property. The third property, let's check if it's going to hold. That is, there must be an existence of what? Of identity element. Don't forget to say Z is equal to dot 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 comma -5 comma -3 comma -2 comma -1 comma 0 1 2 3 4 5 and so on and so forth. Now let's check for the identity element from this set of integers. Now, what is the number that if you take, that if you add it together, you are still going to get a number, and that is what? 0. Okay, so we take any element from the set of integers. So let's take an arbitrary value, which is A. So if you add A plus B, so this B is what we need. That is, if we add A plus something, we must get A. Okay, so what is that thing that we must get? Now let's check. So subtract A from both sides. So you are going to have what? B equals A minus A. Then we have B equals 0. That is, the identity element is what? It's 0. So we add A plus 0, we must get A. Let's check. -5 plus 0 will give us -5. -3 plus 0 will give us -3. -2 plus 0 will give us -2. -1 plus 0 will give us -1. So if we take any numbers in the set of integers and you add to 0, so we are still going to get what? That number. So that shows that the identity element is present in the set of integers. So the third property is satisfied. Now, let's check the fourth property, which is the existence of what? Inverse. Now, how do we define for inverse? there must exist what? For each A in G, there must exist what? There must exist B. That is, if we add A to B, we must get what? We must get E. Are we together? That is, if we add A to B, we must get E. And remember, E is what? E is 0. Now let's check if we are going to find the inverse of A. So since E is 0, which is the identity element, so we are going to have A plus B is equal to 0. Okay, then if you subtract A from both sides, you are going to have B is equal to negative A. That is, the inverse of A is negative A. That is, if you say A plus minus A, that will give us what? A minus A, which is equal to 0. Beautiful. Now let's take any number here. Let's take minus 5. Now, what will be the inverse of minus 5? You know, we said inverse of A is what? Negative A. Now, inverse of minus 5 will be equal to what? Minus 5, which is equal to what? Positive 5. That is, if I take minus 5 plus 5, this will give me what? 0. Let's take inverse of negative 3. Inverse of negative 3 will be what? Positive 3, that is minus 3 plus 3 will give us what? 0. Inverse of 2, you know, inverse of A is what? Negative A. So inverse of 2 will be what? Minus 2. So that will be 2 minus 2, and that will give us what? 0. So we can say that the four properties are satisfied. So the closure property is satisfied. Yeah? The associative property is satisfied. So we have the identity element, which is 0, and each element in Z are what? Are invertible. Now, therefore, since all these four properties are satisfied, so we said Z, plus is a what? Is a group. Now, before we move on, now let's check if it is an abelian group. Let's clean this part. So we already conclude that it's a group, but we want to check if it is an abelian group. Then how do we check for an abelian group? So here is the commutative property. We said A plus B must be equal to what? B plus A. That is, if you take two elements in what? In Z, if you add together, then if you change the position, it must also what? Be the same thing. Now let's take minus 2 and 1. Minus 2 plus 1 is equal to what? B is 1 now. B plus minus 2. So this will be minus 1 is equal to what? 1 minus 2, and we have minus 1 is equal to minus 1. So we can see that the commutative property holds. Therefore, Z, that is set of integers under the operation addition, is an abelian group. So not only the group, but what? An abelian group. And that is the end of our video for today. So in the next class, we're going to look more into examples of a group. Thanks for watching. See you next time.